Hey Insiders, we've got a very special guest joining us here today who's recently just graduated from our flagship course, LMA, the Life Mastery Achievers. And he's going to be coming on here, sharing with us how he honestly felt this whole experience unfolded for him and everything else in between. And Gio, I guess if we could just kick it off, first question, could you just tell us your name, where you're from, and what it is that you currently do right now?
Yeah, so hey, Success Insider, LMA. My name is Giordano Roberto, or a lot of the people in the group know me as Gio. I am currently living in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, which is my hometown. But, not planning on staying here forever, traveling, getting out there and meeting some other people. And what I do currently, I am an artist slash musician, which is more of my main passion. But I also do work at a tea shop and a soup and salad bar. So, just health and creativity is totally my thing.
Beautiful. Gio, great to chat with you here today. Great to have you on here.
Yeah, you
I
too,
guess
man.
I just wanted to dive in and just ask you, what was the biggest challenge or problem that you were currently facing in your life prior to signing up to the LMA course?
Okay, so the biggest challenge I'd have to say was actually getting back kind of out there. I feel like I was really stuck in a defense mode for quite a long time, right
Mm,
before I joined LMA.
mm,
And it really, I could tell, like, it was something that I needed to do over time, because even prior to joining LMA, like, I had gone through some pretty dark times. There was some substance abuse. There was just some really weird periods in my life where I kind of fell off, and things took a turn for the worst in most parts.
mm,
So after that, I feel like the hardest thing to get back to was to get back into a groove. You know what I mean? I became antisocial. I was really focusing on, like, working on myself, but
mm,
there was that something like fundamental missing, and I feel like that was community. That was a good support group.
mm.
Yeah, and that was it was really hard for me. It was really hard for
Wow.
me, So yeah.
Thanks for sharing. And Gio, if you wouldn't mind elaborating, how long was that period for that you can consciously remember that you were in that state?
Yeah, that I can consciously remember, I want to say probably after about 2017, 2018,
Mm,
where I had like a pretty hard breakup with somebody who was not only just like a lover and a girlfriend, but also like a best friend.
ah,
You know what I mean? So after that, it kind of threw me off a little bit, because I was forced to, like, work on myself for a while, which was a good period. I got to experience a lot of cool things, but I never quite found something that really uplifted me again. In the form of relationships, in the form of just passions. Like,
mm,
music was always a thing of mine, but I felt like as soon as that happened, I want to say maybe like a couple years afterwards, that's when I started falling into drug addiction, because there was like a hole missing, and I had to fill it with something.
wow.
Um, so yeah, and I just started getting back into my groove, I want to say maybe about this year.
Wow.
But yeah, you know what I mean? It was hard. Even up until this year, I still figured like I needed something, right? And LMA just kind of popped into my life at the exact right time.
I was going to be leading on to my next question. I just want to say thank you so much for your honesty and openness and vulnerability and sharing that, because I know there's people that come on board LMA all the time who will definitely be able to relate to what you've said and who've been in those dark places. So
Definitely.
how did LMA fall into your path then, or come into being how it is right now?
Yeah. So I mean, it was so funny because, like, you know, like life coaching was kind of always a thing I was interested in. Like, I've thought about it before, but I've never really, like, I didn't really know how to go about searching for that type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, even if I did find something, it was like just meeting me, or like trying to judge if that was the right person for me or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So what happened? I think I was just watching a YouTube video, to be honest, and then as Tim said, random Asian guy just kind of popped up, just popped up into, and I would have easily just skipped over it. I usually do. I'm super skeptical of any kind of, like, YouTube ad or whatever ad. But for some reason, I felt deep down inside like I should just continue watching this. I should, and I did. And then yeah, I got invited to the master class, and from then on, it just like it was like a snowball effect in the best way possible.
Do you have any hesitation or resistance to initially coming on board? And if so, what did you do to put them fears or that resistance to one side to help you step forward in faith and take that action?
Yeah, so definitely there was a lot of skepticism on probably many different levels, mainly because of maybe spending my own money. I mean, I think that's an initial one too. It's like, if I'm going to be spending money, I want to make sure that this is legit. And there wasn't really no true way to know it was legit besides maybe doing a little bit of research. Like I
Yeah.
did some research on Success Insider, and just the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then after we got offered to join the group for like a month and still get the opportunity to get refunded if we didn't like it.
Mm.
I took that fear, like it was fear, but it was more like just more skepticism. And then I'm like, whatever, I have nothing to lose. I
Mm.
might as well try to go in there and like, see what it's all about. And then literally, I think after the first week, I may have just joined the Facebook support group at like the last day of the week.
Wow.
But I already made the decision. I'm like, okay, well, this is amazing. I'm not gonna like ask for my money back. I'm all in at this point.
What surprised you the most? Like after going through the journey of that little bit of skepticism, you were doing the research, and then obviously you came on board, joined the Facebook group, got involved. What surprised you the most?
What surprised me was actually just how involved everybody was.
Mm.
Um, like from all the participants and all the new the older participants, the newer participants, you as the moderators, and this whole Success Insider team.
Mm.
It really surprised me because I didn't really know what to expect
Mm.
on like the whole group. I knew after paying the money, like the lessons and the modules and the value that I take back from that was going to be on point. Like, I for some reason, like if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have gone in there anyway. But like deep down, I knew.
Yeah.
But after joining the Facebook group, which I wasn't even actually on Facebook or social media for quite a while, after getting prompted a bunch of times, join our Facebook live support group, I finally just kind of bit it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to see what this is all about. And yeah, from then on, it was amazing, doing all the challenges. Everybody was so involved with each other's posts. And it just made me want to be involved as well. I didn't want to just like, take and not give.
Yeah.
I felt like to be part of a community, that's what it's all about, right? To actually be part of the community.
How beneficial was that community and that connections that you made? And I know you formed many connections inside that group. How beneficial was it to have that support, that community throughout the journey of understanding and learning the content? How did it work hand in hand with the whole experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was probably the key thing. It was I knew that I could always like lean on people even in my more vulnerable states. And there was a couple in there, but I was definitely vibing the whole time and excited to meet new people. And as an artist, I actually made a few awesome connections where we made some music together, which is in the process, so is almost finished. But even today, even after the season has been over, like a lot of us are still in contact. So super beneficial. Honestly, if that truly was the only take back from this, like regardless of all the other take backs, but if just the connections made alone, I would feel more than it was worth it. Absolutely.
What would you say has been the biggest shift in your life for Geo after going through this whole course right now? What has changed truly for you in your life now?
Yeah, I think that I've went from being an antisocial butterfly to a social butterfly again. Yeah, and you know what? And truly deep down, like that's exactly the type of person I am. But because of all my past situations that I went through, it kind of forced me into the cocoon, right? It forced me into my shell, which was a good thing in a sense. Like at least I was able to do a lot of self-reflecting and work on myself quite a bit. But if I would have just stayed in here forever, I think I would have suffocated, kind of thing, right? So I'm still involved in my community, but I wasn't on any socials. I wasn't on Facebook. I was on Instagram. And I think just because I was afraid that maybe I would be used by them instead of me using them as tools, kind of thing, right? With distractions and just all the negativity going on in the world. So it really helped me break out of my shell. And I feel like now, regardless if it's like online or if I'm out in the community, like I'm out there again. I'm actually performing a show this weekend again, finally, for the first time in like a year. So, yeah. Yeah,
So
man.
what's the future look like for Geo now? Like what's in the horizons?
On the horizons is definitely a lot of health and creativity, getting myself back out there, being able to promote myself as an artist online and making other connections across the world. Definitely doing some traveling in the near future. But my immediate one is to, because I've cultivated a really nice ground for myself, being back home with family, friends, my creative space. So I'm not gonna reach out too far just yet. I'm just gonna like reach out into my community and involve myself there, do some small shows, and then yeah, you know what I mean. Just give back. Just give
Beautiful.
back.
Beautiful. How would you summarize, or what words would you share regarding Tim as a teacher, facilitator, or trainer?
Oh man, yeah, Tim. He's absolutely like the leader when it comes to being a coach. I've never felt so, and especially having such a large team and large array of people all across the world that come to join his sessions. I truly feel like Tim is really humble and genuine, and he's got a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to like his telling his own story and telling like his own vulnerability and sharing like funny stories of his past. And it's comfortable seeing somebody who I definitely emanate success. Like Tim emanates success, so that really like I really appreciate that, and I appreciate his honesty about him being a businessman and all this stuff too. It's like you want to be able to take what somebody says like honestly and truthfully at face value, right?
Yeah.
And Tim does that, and he delivers. He over delivers consistently. And then all the rest of you as a team, like I love like Liam, you and Toma are absolutely amazing. Energetic wise, you're very professional. You two really involve yourself in the whole community and make it known. And I know that all of us appreciate you guys so much.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Final question. Big one. What advice would you give to people who are on the verge of signing up but are maybe sitting on the fence? Now you've gone through this experience, you're a graduate of this course, you've gone through it. What would you say to those people who are thinking about joining or sitting on the fence? What would you truly say to them?
I would truly say just to go for it. Like pop your head out of the ground like a gopher. Just go for it. It is absolutely the best decision that I have made in recent times and maybe my life, because I feel like if I hadn't took this leap, I may have not truly come out of my shell and, like I said, suffocated in my own loop. You know what I mean? So breaking the pattern, coming out of the loop, I would totally recommend it to anybody, from a friend to a stranger. There's not much really. Actually, there's nothing I can say negative about this. Like, not absolutely nothing. You will quickly realize how like the support that you get from this is something that you were probably missing. And then just the value of the knowledge. Even if some of the fundamentals you may have heard some of it before, they really go deep. So you'll get your money's worth. You'll get your relationships worth. Yeah, just even if you're skeptical, because I was definitely at first.